Okay, here's the route. Excuse me. We start at our usual spot at the Harstine Island Bridge, where it's marked launch. Head south between Harstine and Squaxin Island through Dana Passage, around Devil's Head, and then north up Carr Inlet up to the little tiny Cuts Island. This is one of the longest day trips in South Sound that I do. It's a distance of 25 miles, which makes for a 50-plus mile round trip. We had exceptional water today, so things went really fast. I just thought this might be a good way to show everybody a big chunk of what South Sound is really like in not too much time. So here we go. Let's take off and head for Cuts Island. Okay, this is basically a test of the high-speed video thing. I am going to do the high-speed trip thing, you know, soup it up through the magic of the computer. And this is basically a rehearsal for later in the year when I hope to do the San Juan trip. I hope to video the entire trip, and for the part where we're hopping between islands, I will zip it up to the hyperdrive, as I call it, the high-speed stuff in the magic of the computer. So this will be a kind of rehearsal for that. We're going to go from Harstine Island to Cuts Island, a distance of about 25 miles, which is about the same as a typical hop on a multi-day trip through the San Juan Islands. So we're going to give this a shot and see how it comes out. Give me some feedback on this and let me know whether it's good or not. As soon as we come up on the Harstine Bridge, I'm going to kick it into hyperdrive. We're doing regular cruising speed now, which is about over 20 miles an hour. Okay, here we go. We are ripping down Pickering Passage at about 200 miles an hour. We have Harstine Island on the left, Squaxin Island in the middle, and the mainland on the right. We're going to go through into Peel Pass, through the narrowest part of it, right between Harstine and Squaxin Island, and head south down Peel Passage. Peel Passage is generally a pretty boring piece of water. It's a pretty wide passage, but the shore of Squaxin Island is nice to look at. It's all uninhabited, mainly because it's Indian reservation, and you're not allowed to go ashore on Squaxin Island unless you make arrangements with the tribe. And probably pay them something, and also they say that you must have a tribal member accompany you. And once again, we are continuing south, Harstine Island on the left, Squaxin Island on the right. We're passing the point of the old Squaxin State Park, which has been closed by agreement with the tribe. When they opened Hope Island as a state park, they discontinued Squaxin State Park and handed it back to the tribe, basically. Well, I've heard that the state still owns it. Now we're coming up on the south tip of Harstine Island, known as Raggedy Ass Point. And you can see it over there, and its first navigational checkpoint. Boston Harbor, a nice stop north of Olympia, is on the mainland in the background. Okay, there's the navigational aid we just passed. Now you turn to the left, and we're going through the tide rips of Dana Passage. We're now in Dana Passage, headed straight east. Harstine Island on the left, mainland on the right. This used to be a good fishing area in years past, but it certainly hasn't produced much lately. And it widens out into a pretty big open area or it joins Case Inlet off to the left. So this area can get a little bit choppy when the wind blows, especially if it's a westerly. The point on the right is Johnson Point, which is our next navigation checkpoint. I have that programmed in the GPS along with the rest of them. And we're passing off Johnson Point and going to head for Devil's Head, which is the south tip of the Key Peninsula. Devil's Head got its name from Captain Vancouver, who first explored the area, and he said that when you turn the chart upside down, it looked like the head of the devil. Well, I tried it with my chart and I can't see it. I kind of think that maybe the good captain polished off his rum ration, plus somebody else's, when he did that, and who knows what the hand-drawn charts in those days look like. Well, we are coming up on Devil's Head. The land in the background is Anderson Island, and off to the right is the expanse of the Nisqually Delta. Now as we go around Devil's Head, we're going to just follow the shoreline and go north up the east side of the Key Peninsula. Like I said, Devil's Head is the south tip of the Key Peninsula. Anderson Island to the right, McNeil Island just about in the center, which is a state-run resort for sex offenders. Key Peninsula is on the left and we're headed for Pitt Passage. They should make a state park out of that island and put those sex offenders, they could store them in the old buildings on the Hanford Nuclear Reservation or something. And if any of them ever got out and got loose, they'd be easy to find because they glow in the dark. Pitt Passage is very shallow, full of boulders and shoals, and has little Pitt's Island right in the middle. Now you're not supposed to land on Pitt's Island because it is considered to be part of the penitentiary, but everybody does anyway, and you will see them out there digging clams on a good low tide if you go through there. And I don't know of anybody who's ever been chased off. It is detached from McNeil on both sides, but it's a very narrow passage on both sides. So it is possible for prisoners to swim a few strokes and get across there. Now I'm backing the speed down to go on slow bell through here because of all the hazards, and the GPS is a great aid. I have the marine charts in it, and so I can easily keep the boat down the deepest part of the channel. So we're now going through Pitt Passage, and the Wyckoff Shoal is off to our right. The Wyckoff is a huge shoal that on the extreme low tides goes bare, and you can get out and walk around on it, and it is just one of the most fabulous sea life viewing areas in the South Sound. It's kind of like Atlantis. There's an island where there is no island on the very low tides. I've taken quite a few people there and they have all just loved it. Still continuing north, there's the first marker that shows where the shoal starts. So we stay to the left of that. Don't want to knock the propeller off. And I'm leaving her on slow bell because we had such good water on this morning that we're running way ahead of schedule. We wanted to arrive at Cutts Island on just about low tide to do some clam digging. Now, if you want to see a Cutts Island clam dig, please go to my YouTube page, Rocky Pap Rocky, and look up Cutts Island clam dig. And you can see what goes on the shore and get a look at Cutts Island on the shore. I didn't film that on this one because I was just experimenting. There went the other navigational aid, or was that a boat? That was a boat. I cut a bunch out of the middle because it was just open water, and now we're headed north towards the south-facing mainland. A thing called Green Point, which is actually a burb of Gig Harbor. Cutts Island is a great place, but on a sunny summer weekend it can be a zoo because it is so close to a population center. It could be full of people, and they all have to have a great big, totally untrained dog, and equally as bad, untrained kids. And especially those damn plastic yuppie fashion boaters. Jeez. Now this area is a big stretch of open water, and it can get quite rough. So you have to watch your winds in here. And now you can see Cutts Island coming into view, which is our destination, and as we get a little bit closer, the film is going to cut off. This is boating in South Puget Sound. The best darn boating water in the whole inland water system. Still got a little bit to go. Like I say, this was just a test. I will probably use this technique on the San Juan Island trip if it comes about, and then once I go ashore, everything will be, to film shore-bound activities, everything will be filmed in normal time. But this makes the trip a lot faster. Now you can see Cutts Island looming up really good. So check out my Cutts Island clam dig video under Rocky Pap Rocky on YouTube.